Hi there, this is Terrance here with Earthman Media, and in this video I'm going to be going through one of the recent website overhauls that I've done here. So here we're looking at the Riverwood properties site. Now this is the original site, and as you can see here, this is a real estate site. It's got a number of features, including a properties map, and as you can see, there are certain aspects of it that haven't been working as expected, and they wanted to get a general overhaul where they had a map that was going to serve them for better purposes in the future, and then also be able to refine the way that the properties were defined. As you can see, there's a bit of a delay in loading the properties as well, and the user interface is such where if I go back to the properties, then let's say, I take a look at a property down here and then I go back, then I have to continue to, scroll through this very large list. There are no filtering controls, etc. And so it just was a bit of a usability concern. And just in general, there was a need to upgrade the site overall, just to give it a bit of a better look and feel. Now in the back end, you can see that there's an overabundance of a lot of plugins that were installed here as well, and then they were also using the houses theme, which provides them with some functionality for properties here. But as you can see, the user interface, like we've got all of this WordPress cruft in here, and then if we go into take a look at, we go into, so for editing each of these, you'll see that we've got a rather busy interface here. Down below, we've got a mixture of the SEO settings, and then we've got all of these tabs, and a lot of these fields weren't actually being used by this client. So there was a lot of time that was being spent by the client in just going through this, and the user interface was a little bit challenging to find exactly what needed to be filled in. So this was some of the challenges that that I worked with to overcome in the new version of their site, which I'm going to take you to now. So we're just in the midst of launching this, and I'm just going to be transferring over the domain, and then I'll give you a walkthrough of the brand new site and what I've done with it. And now we've got it migrated to our new host here. So let's take a look at the front end first, and then I'll walk you through the changes in the WordPress admin. So as you can see on the front end, we've just got a little bit of a different slider. We've stuck with the same basic content. We've got some featured properties available here. Simplified the footer so it wasn't as tall and obtrusive. And now this was all a custom theme that was developed over top of, it was actually migrated to ClassicPress. And so slimming down the load times as well, so it loads in a heartbeat here. And then we've got all of our property listings. We'll get to that in a second. But first of all, we've just got the general content management system. So the theme's been tidied up here, added a sidebar in as well and content in there, and then just some really nice formatting with a little bit of a narrower content window. Same here on the tenant, and now we've got some self-hosted forms and WP forms as well here. I've got some links here which just link further down into the services page. So these are some anchor links just to get to commonly used sections here. And the contact page has been revamped a little bit as well, just to put a little more of the contact information accessible right in the sidebar here. Now we've got some fancy things that are connected to the contact form as well. The ability to choose a specific property which didn't exist before in the previous site, and I'll show you how that ties in as well with the property listings too. So we've got a few different short links here, and these are going to link us to separate sections within the property listing application. Now this is actually a React app on the front end now that's taking the place of this one section within the site. So I've created a customized React JavaScript app that is a single page app that runs the map view here, as well as the listings view and all of the filtering that's involved here. So you can see that I've incorporated an Airbnb style interface here where one can filter properties down and be able to see which properties are available. And you can see that it also modifies the filters in accordance with what has been selected as well. So the intuitive search will allow you to then quickly locate properties within a certain area and drill those down quite effectively by the features that they offer, etc. So you can see that we've got all of that enabled right in here. There's also a slider here. I can easily reset the search, and then I can search for ones with available space with the slider at the top here, or I can just search for a keyword as well, which can quickly filter down the properties. So that's the searching parameters. Now all of this does the exact same thing in the map view as well. You can see that we've got all of the map pins, and then they're available down here as well and scrollable. And this is also mobile compatible as well, and I'll show you a mobile version of that shortly. You can see that all of these filters then adjust the map and the pins that are being shown within the map. And then I can zoom into that map as well, either using the controls up here or double clicking, or on mobile I can pinch and zoom as well, and I can actually do that on a touchpad. So got a lot of functionality that's available here. And then you'll note that now, even though the URL at the top will change, you're not seeing the URLs, but that will change, but this is still within the single page app, so it doesn't interrupt the user interface when it comes to checking out different properties. One can look through these and then filter and then cycle through the ones that are filtered as well without having to return to the original map or listing view. I can do that. The same search exists in the listing view as well, so if I have that filtered down here, then it retains that filter in all the different views that we're taking a look at. You can see that the next and previous buttons are gone now because there's no other properties to filter through. There's only a single one that's being shown right here. Now, one other feature that is available in here as well is the ability to add to favorites or contact us about this property. So I'll filter down to a larger number of properties here so we can see just how that can work. Oh yeah, I've got to zoom out here just to see some of those other properties. There we go. And I'll filter those down. And then let's take a look at this. Let's say I want to add that to my favorites. I'll do that. I can cycle through the next one. Add this one to my favorites, for example. And then a third one right there. Okay, now let's say I'm ready to contact the company about those properties. That'll take me to the contact form. You can see that it's automatically filled in all of the properties that I selected as my favorites. And if I want to, I can also add some additional ones here as well. So then once that form is sent, they'll receive all of this information and be able to follow up quite effectively with that potential customer. So I'm just going to take you very quickly into a mobile view of this as well. And I'll refresh that. And here we have the mobile view of the map. So again, you've got that ability to scroll through and review the different properties and all of the details on that property, add to favorites, etc. And all of that is completely mobile friendly here as well. We've got the filters available here as well in the sidebar, and I can review all of those on the map or if I'm in the filter view, I can go to the list view. And you'll note as well that if I select one of these in the list view, and then I start to scroll through the properties, then I decide to leave the list view, you can notice that the one that I was currently looking at is centered within the viewport as well automatically. Now this also, you can't see the URL right now. Here, I'll just move that down a little bit. So you can see that the URL also follows suit with this, and even though we're still in the single page application, these URLs are deep linked. So if I go directly to the application with one of those links, it will take me right into that property detail page, but I'm still within the flow of the application itself. So those are all the main features that have been incorporated into this redesign, and I'll let you take a look at the admin panel now. So I've got a customized WordPress admin panel that I've added to this as well. And here we are in the dashboard. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take you into, first of all, you'll notice that this has been slimmed down and cleaned up quite significantly, and this is also running ClassicPress here instead of WordPress as well. So that is a forked version of WordPress that doesn't include the Gutenberg editor, and thus creates a much more slimlined WordPress installation to be able to work with that will load a lot faster. It's got a basic editor. This is the Effects Builder editor, and this editor is like a block editor, but a little easier to use and to constrain the editing within. So if we take a look at editing an existing page here, you can see we've got rows with columns within them, and then effectively just an editor within those that's like the old classic WordPress editor before all of the Gutenberg additions. So this is something just to simplify and constrain the content and make it so that things don't get messy on the front end. This was a fairly straightforward installation as well when it comes to the theming on the front end. So there wasn't a lot of fancy widgets or designs that needed to be accomplished. So that type of an editor was really effective for this type of layout that we had in mind here. Now going back to the dashboard here, I'll also show you the ability to view it from an editor perspective here. So I'm going to go into the editor view, and you can see that it's even easier to manage because we've removed all of the WordPress extra settings, etc., and just slimmed it down to exactly what the editors need to access and edit, which is property managers, properties, and that kind of information right there. So let's take a look at the editing of the properties. Now you can see here I've simplified this list and surfaced a lot more details right on here in more of a readable format, and clean this list up. And then also the editing panel I modified to use ACF custom fields now, and this interface is much easier to handle than previously, as you saw earlier in the demonstrations. So I've got all of the most important things that need to be edited surfaced in very easy to use interfaces. We've got the ability to add a row, and those are constrained by the different types of rows that they would be adding into here. So let's say they wanted to add the workday population as well as the additional ones. Then I'm using a custom field to be able to do that. I can remove that as well. And then you can see that I've got a map location and a locator, so one can set a pin on the map and have that automatically incorporated into the React app that I showed you on the front end. We've got file downloads here, and then last but not least, the staff details, and staff can be easily dragged and dropped or just added with a click of the button to a property to be able to manage that property there as well. On the right hand side, I've got featured on homepage slider and featured in homepage tiles, and then a featured image that is available to the theme as well. Now if I feature this on the homepage, I can also select a separate image that would then show up on the home page slider. So that's this section right at the top that you're seeing here. Sometimes we'll want a different larger sized image and a different style of image than what you might see as the featured image or as one of the property images that's loaded in here. So that's why this ability to add a separate slider image is there. Featured in home page tiles, again going back to the home page there, that is the section that's down below here, and one can simply add tiles to there just by clicking on that, and then dynamically it will be added in there. These types, status, location, features, all of these automatically update within the map, and that property map will then be updated accordingly, and all of these numbers will automatically be updated in real time on the map. Even if people have it loaded up, they won't even have to load their page again, but if that edit happens on the back end, then there's some auto loading features in place where the app will recognize that and then automatically load new data into the map for people that are watching in real time. So that covers all of the main features that have been added into the Riverwood Properties redesign here. I hope you've enjoyed watching. It's been a pleasure to work on this project, and I hope that I get to do many of those in the future. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.